Hi everybody, welcome to this first episode of AIC Behind the Comics. I'm the host, Michael Kelley. I'm the creator and writer of AIC Comics, and with me is my special guest,
I'm Cathy.
Cathy, who is Shishia Meiren herself. She's the cosplay model and, of course, BFF.
Yeah.
So today, you'll notice we have a set of Eagles. Haven't had a chance to celebrate the Eagles winning the Super Bowl yet because we were in China, and I just went back this summer to collect my shirts. Yeah. I'm originally from the southeast Pennsylvania area, so go Eagles. Looking forward to another one. We're filming here in Shenzhen, China, which many Americans and other Westerners probably don't realize where that is, but it's actually the fourth largest city in China. And we're right across the border from Hong Kong. So, this episode we're going to talk about the history of AIC Comics and how it came to be and where we're going from here. Where we were introduced to comics in the first place. I was big into comics starting in the late 80s, early 90s with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and X-Men and Spider-Man in the 90s. When did you learn about comics?
It's really neat to me. It's kind of recent. Like before I know you, I didn't know like the comic books or the Comic Cons or whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm Chinese, so from a Chinese perspective, they're more into something like the animes like from Japan.
Mm-hmm.
The Japanese anime.
There's more interest in the Japanese manga and anime.
Yeah, and kids they like look cuter, even though the Pikachu or something.
I've been wanting to make comics for a while. I enjoyed writing them, but I had no idea how to actually make them, and I can't draw. But then when I moved to China, then it started to become a little bit more realistic. But I still couldn't draw. So what I did was I took photos of friends who would be the models for the characters, and then I put them through a filter for an app called Comic Life. And that also didn't work, because as it turns out, I'm just as bad at photography as I am artists or drawing. So that didn't work. And finally, I came up with an idea. Just hire an artist. That became the first book that we made, which was Shishia Meiren. And actually, it wasn't this book, but we'll talk more about that later. That was about a year ago, a little bit more than a year ago. Now that the comics are being made and they're published, the next step was trying to figure out how to get people to notice them. And that's where social media came into play. Yeah, I said this to many people. I hate social media. I hate having to be on and twittering or tweeting, whatever it's called, doing that every day, and being on Facebook and being on Instagram and being on Google+. We do it, and we've had a lot of success. We've had a lot of followers, and we've grown some great relationships with other indie comic book makers. A shout out to Advent Comics, who we work with closely on a couple of our Kickstarters. We've kind of branched out into more things, like photo shoots.
Yeah, photo shoots.
Yeah, so since Cathy is the physical inspiration for Shishia Meiren, can you see the resemblance?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah. So we decided we're going to do some photo shoots with Cathy as Shishia Meiren dressed as the character. What was it like being or portraying Shishia Meiren in those?
It's fun. Like before that, I didn't know. Like I'm new to comics, and I'm represent this comic book. That's quite awesome for me, and it's a really new and exciting experience for me. And those photo shoot, we did the first one in November last year,
Mm-hmm.
and it's quite fun. Just of like the character of the comic books, it's really fun, and I had the makeups, and we even had the like the accessories like
We did. We were detailed. We had a prop cigarette
yeah,
and the miniguns.
and the miniguns.
Yeah, we tried to get regular sized guns, but it
It's
turns out,
forbidden.
yeah, can't have those in China. So we had these. It was only like that big. And
Yeah, it's really tiny.
it was really small, but it was still kind of fun. Now we're at a point where a year and how many months into creating our comics, a lot of people ask how popular are they in China since we're here and we get all of our publishing and printing done. How popular are they here?
I think they will get more popular like in the future because like this kind of comic books is really new to Chinese people, but I think they will love it because they love the movies like Star Wars from Marvel, so DC. So yeah, definitely they're gonna love it.
I hope so. For now, I focus on the expat community here in Shenzhen, and that is a good source for income for me. Though expats here are really supportive of my comics and my efforts. Have thrown a couple of parties at local bars and restaurants, and a lot of people show up to those. Actually, in the first one, you were dressed up as Shishia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
There are no comic book shops. I've heard there's one in Shanghai, but definitely none in Shenzhen.
No.
The only stores I found were in Hong Kong. There's only two, and I'll give a shout out to them too. They're Metro Comics and Clark's Comics, and they're both located right next door to each other in the basement of an old shopping center or an old shopping mall in, I want to say, Causeway Bay. So if you're in Hong Kong and you need comic books, Clark's and Metro Comics, go check them out. Where are we going from here? Let me talk about really quick, just to introduce the 5 comics that we have currently, or the 5 series that we're working on. Of course, there's Shishia Meiran, the story of a bounty hunter in Guangzhou, China, working on a book called Agent Sparks, Defender of Glittera, which is more sci-fi and fantasy based. Takes place on a distant planet called Glittera. We'll talk more about those in future episodes. Tales from the Streets of Guangzhou, and that stars the American, who is based off of yours truly. Then there's 2 new books that we just started recently. One is White Snake. It's based off of an ancient Chinese legend of the White Snake Lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was a popular TV show
Yeah,
in
what
the
was
90s,
it?
right?
90s,
Yeah. The 5th book that we're working on is called Kuzi, the Master of Magic. So in our next video, we're going to be talking about more of Shishia Meiran and the first issue and where that came from. I'd like to thank my guest, Cathy, for being here, and we will see you again soon.
See you again soon.